What's going on, everybody? My name is Alex. Welcome back. Welcome to the Edge. Welcome to the Evolution Pod. Welcome to IMS on in O'Hare in Rosemont. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in for the stream. And we're gonna go over to our first guest here. And before we do that, I want to introduce my co-host. Turn down the phones.
Hey everyone, this is Jennifer. Thank you for joining us today. Super excited to have you here with our amazing host and our guests that we're going to be presenting to you guys today. We are super excited because this is a student and instructor led show that we're putting together on The Edge and on Evolution Pop. And now I'm going to pass it over to our first student, and he's going to introduce himself to you guys.
Hey there, my name is Aaron Smith, and I am the host of Soul Talk, where I talk from the soul to the soul. It is the leading edge poetic space. It is the leading edge conversation in poetic space that take you to a higher place.
Okay, so higher place. So what does that mean? What is your show really, like, what's your purpose of that?
Okay, so Soul Talk is like what I say is an expression of art.
Okay.
That's my view on how we express ourselves creatively. So that could be via art, like drawing, painting, sketching, airbrushing, spray painting, and then you got writing, you got poetry, you got books, you got movies. All of these different things are forms of art that we express ourselves through. And so that's what I just came up with the name. And so, especially here in IMS, there's a ton of talent that's constantly flowing through,
sure.
especially like with different artists. And so it's kind of like shine the spotlight on them too, you know, to give them space, because I look at like the times that we're in as like a resurgence of the Renaissance era. Talent, the natural gifts that we've been given through art, music, poetry, whatever type of creative expressive we're doing, it's been making a big comeback, especially like if you look at like culturally around the world, the different cultures that's taking to it too, like Afro beats and different genres like that that's popping up.
So let me ask this question, Aaron. You graduated, you're an alumni, right? Alumnus, congratulations.
Okay, congratulations.
So tell us a little bit about your story and how you ended up here.
Well, this journey is interesting. I was still driving over the road, you know, truck driving, when the Illinois Media School first came to mind. Oh, actually, the first one was Ohio Media School when I was driving and stationed in Dayton, Ohio. And so then time moved on as I traveled across the country. The different ones came, like the Colorado Media School, and then down to Miami. And so got to the point to where I took the interest in, because at that time my interest was to get into podcasting. And so I ended up coming to Illinois Media School to like attain the skills to go to the next level. And so it started with the conversation I was supposed to start in August, ended up in October, and then that's how it began for me.
So from going to being a truck driver to now being an IMS student to now being a graduate and now having your own show, how do you feel about that? And talk a little bit about the journey it took you to get here and how you just like what this show means to you.
Well,
at this point,
this show, it definitely, for me, it shows the power of manifestation. Like when you have a vision for something and you never give up on it, you start to take the steps to follow through with it. It definitely shows that it's proof that it works, that it's true, that, you know, it's something that it started as a thought and now here I am on the other side of it, actually stepping into it. And so the power of your mind, what you focus on, what you believe to be true for yourself, is definitely a testament to that for me.
Cool. So tell us the type. So I'm sure you definitely are a lot more. Well, I don't want to say a lot more. You're wiser. You're always
Wise.
Full of wisdom.
Yeah,
you know, when you come
so.
in, always sharing something, always sharing a chime and making a noise or something on these in these hallways, right? So, So what type of guests are you planning to bring onto your show? What are we gonna expect to see from Aaron?
Well, I'm open to all guests. All religions are welcome. All music genres are welcome. In any age range, any ethnicity. Come share your opinion. It's a safe space for people to come and just be their authentic selves.
I love that.
okay. So I can come on your show.
Absolutely.
Alex, are you creatively, poetically, musically?
No, but we're gonna try.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah, like art. I mean, I colored before. I mean, with
You
crayons.
colored?
I colored before.
All
But I
right.
was super excited about
that is
Air's show.
artistic. That is artistic.
Yeah, exactly.
There
We can
you
talk
go.
about old crayons drawings. See?
Absolutely.
Look, the earliest memory I have with art is I won a free burger for coloring in I think a Christmas page for, you know what I mean? Like that was the only thing I remember doing, and I'm like, okay, this is art. This is fun.
There you
I won a
go.
free burger out of it, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
All right, so we classify him as an artistic
Yes.
individual
Yeah, very
because
much,
he
yes.
won a
Yes.
burger
Very much.
for his coloring.
Yes,
for
definitely
coloring.
into coloring.
Coloring books.
You can stay within the lines.
Yeah, stay with the lines. We'll stay in the lines. Well, speaking of staying in the lines, you on this show, right? And you are bringing all these guests in. For your first episode, what are you gonna title it? Do you have anything in mind for your first episode? Like, what is that looking like? How are you gonna set up your first episode?
Well, that'll depend on whether if it'll be a guest, spotlight, or
Okay.
it can go into like the vibration of the day, because I break things down through numerology as well, and so like a lot of the times I'll go based off of that vibration and like what's the message in it for today, and that kind of flows into other things too, like.
Nice. And you're also going to do some music as well on the show, correct? 'Cause-
Absolutely.
Nice.
I have a couple of my books here, so I have a mix of poetry. I sing and I rap as well. A lot of times I find myself freestyling.
Can you
so-
can you spit?
Can you spit down
something
right now? Can we go bar for bar, word for words, bar for bar?
I got something for you.
Alright, that's it.
See, I've been hustling all my life, yeah, you can always catch me grinding. I done dealt with some setbacks and pitfalls, and I'm finding hard times that don't define me, gotta keep on climbing. I had to go and look inside myself, then answers I had found them. So many people didn't believe in me and always tried to clown me, but every time I came apart on their face, I see a frowning. Wasn't even doing it to stunt, man, I was just trying to keep from drowning. And then I realized I was the wave and trusted in better days. Sitting on top of the ocean into the shores when I've been crashing. Then going back inside myself, the treasure I had found it. Yeah, it was worth more than gold. Yeah, my soul, I didn't lose it. Had to tap into that inner space, go into that sunken place. Hustle hard and ambition is something that wasn't missing. Focus my intentions and then accomplish the mission. Staying in alignment, yeah, I noticed the assignment. It ain't on me, yeah, it's in me. You can't get this off consignment. So I'm gonna focus on me today. Go ahead and lead the way. 'Cause looking for this outside of myself, I know it ain't the way.
Okay.
That's super
Well, you see here, we have a bunch of talent on the show. We're excited to showcase everybody's talent,
Yes.
and we have another student coming up. But before we close out this segment, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for showing up, for giving us opportunity to talk about your show, and thank you for all the hard work that you've been putting in this
Yes.
last year, and especially for that wonderful voice you have. I hope you sing for my birthday.
Well, thank you.
And thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you, Aaron. All right, we're wrapping it up. So now we'll be up with our next guest. So stay tuned.
great.
Hey everyone, you are back. This is Jennifer Sanchez, an instructor at IMS. I'm one of the DMP instructors here, and I'm super excited to have the next guest here. But before we introduce our student guest, let me pass it over to my co-host. Make sure he introduces himself if you're just tuning in.
Hey, my name is Alex, and this is The Edge, and I am super happy to be here with Jennifer, and also a very special guest. She is reigning from, and she calls herself Hot Mama Sita, and she has a CNA. Yeah, she has a CNA name too. Aisha, how are you, Aisha? How you doing?
Hot
doing
Mama Sita.
great.
Hot Mama Sita.
I'm here to knock the edge off.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Hot Mama Sita in the building. All right. Where did that name came from? Why is Hot Mama
Where did it
Sita?
come from?
Well,
It started one night.
I really like the Hispanic community. I lived in Berwyn last year, and I felt all the culture and all the love. So it's a deep,
Nice.
it's a mamacita inside of me that's been roaring to come out. So,
I love that. You know what? No, wait. I gotta
That's
share
awesome.
this. I gotta share this. I would come and I would walk down the hallway, and then I would hear Selena. And I'd be like, who's playing Selena? And I'd be like, that's Mexican. Like, I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden you hear Latino music, and I'm like, wait, hold
Then your Latino
on.
spider system tingling.
And
Who's here?
and I'm like, I thought we were the only Mexicans, like me and you. And Esteban
tingling
now,
too. I'm
right? There's only like 3 Latinos here, so who's that? So it's Hot Mamacita.
beady beady bum bum.
So what inspired you?
So, on a serious note, what inspired me to use that name? Because okay, I'm an Aries. I'm very passionate about anything that I do, and it's a fire on the inside of me that just
love that.
is roaring to come out. Like I said, last year, by me living in Berwyn, Illinois. Shout out to Berwyn, Illinois.
Shout out Berwyn.
Yes, it's so beautiful over there in the culture and the everything. And as a little girl, I always like to put on my little dresses and my little nice shoes and walk around and stuff like that, look pretty and change. I mean, and I just like the name because it fits me as a DJ. That's my DJ name, DJ Hot Mamacita. So when I get on them turntables, I'm gonna make it spin. You know what I'm saying?
You make it spin in the
but I'ma
hallway, I'll tell you that.
But
You
I'm gonna
make
be
it spin in the
sexy
hallway.
with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna bring all the Mamacita. You know, because in actuality, a lot of guys, as soon as they see me, what rolls off their lips is, "Hey, Mamacita. Hey, Mamia."
Oh, like
You know,
it.
so it just goes with me.
So tell us a little bit about the show. Like, what's gonna be the name of the show? What are you thinking about? What are you gonna bring to the edge?
Well, what I'm planning on bringing to the edge is a show about food.
Yeah.
And how I'm gonna present it is yet to be determined, but it's gonna be great. I can't disclose everything because I don't want
Sure.
anybody to steal my ideas. But just be looking forward to Hot Mamacita's Caliente food show.
Oh,
Caliente
caliente.
food
That
show.
means that's
So
spicy.
that sounds multicultural too. So are we doing like?
Yes,
are we
we
doing,
doing
only like
yeah.
Latino, or we're doing everything? else?
And now I'm not just designated to one arena like just being like Hispanic or nothing like that, because I'm actually an African American, and I like all cultures, but I don't define myself as any race. I'm gonna let y'all know that now. I'm a part of the human race.
I love that.
man,
I love that.
And I want everybody to get along. And I'm about peace and love and all that. So
That's awesome.
I'm gonna try to bring different diversity. I'm gonna try to bring. I am going to bring originality, and I just want to see how you all can relate to what I got to offer.
Oh, so tell us, what's your favorite dish? I'm a foodie, so I gotta know.
I know. You know, like you go.
Okay, so I like. Y'all already know I love. My favorite food is Mexican food.
Okay.
So I like my tacos.
Oh,
Tacos. Okay.
green
what kind-
salsa or red salsa?
And I like my tequila and green.
Tequila is
You like
great.
green sauce? I love tequila.
I love you know what? I love tequila
I
too.
love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I got you. I get it.
She said green or red tequila.
She did say that. She did say that. That's awesome.
I am super excited about your show. It seems like there'll be a lot of vibrant energy and a lot of culture and a lot of just you, right? And,
Yeah.
and people want to know you.
And we're
what
going to
do you-
have a blast.
We're gonna have a blast, right? And so tell the audience a little bit about yourself, not just the show, but a little bit about yourself, so they can know the face behind the show. few
Okay,
things.
well, I am hot mamacita. I'm a phoenix rising from the ashes.
Okay.
And
I like that.
I'm enrolled in Illinois Media School at this moment to be. And
Nice.
my trade I want to be is on-air radio personality and
That's awesome.
professional broadcaster and the best DJ that ever touched the turntables. So about me, I'm a warm, loving, caring person, friend, mother, sister, whatever. Just I'm gonna say person to put it in general. And I rock with who rock with me. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, if y'all rocking, I'm rolling.
Oh, I love that.
Tequila.
Tequila.
Well, no, but this is awesome. I like the one thing I like about you, Aisha. One thing I always say about you is you have a very you're like a chameleon. Your character can go either way, right? It could be like we can start up high, we can get a little low, and then we can get all crazy.
Yeah,
right?
no, and she's very passionate
And that's
and
all
very
wonderful.
fiery. So I think it's perfect, right? The fire, the red, your persona, right? Like it works really well with especially the hot mamacita. Like
Yeah.
it all goes really well with your personal brand.
Yes.
So who's gonna be your first guest?
Who's going to be my first guest?
Have you thought about it?
I haven't thought about it yet, Alex, but
okay.
it may be you.
Ooh. Talk
We could get
about
tacos on this show, son.
wait, Alex,
Don't get
green
tequila,
or red?
21.
Green or red? Tequila.
No,
Oh, he's not even 21.
I'm not
No,
21.
no, he's
I
not
can't say
21.
that.
You
I
not
can't say that. I'm not
21?
21 yet.
Oh my goodness.
Red
I'm
or
not
green?
21.
You're
Green.
super smart.
Green for sure.
Green, yeah,
Green
green.
for sure.
Green.
You could never go wrong with
was
some
my
green.
choice, but tequila
Tequila.
hit the brain before.
brain.
I like how she said that. She's like green, but tequila was first.
I was thinking about washing it down.
Oh my god! Well, I would love
Because I
to be
like
on
the
your show.
fire in my throat.
There you go.
The green
spice.
sauce with the tequila is hot. Like I'm like a dragon.
Talk
Yeah.
about you being a DJ. That's so interesting. You were a DJ. Were you a DJ? You
I'm-
were originally in
no.
Boston, right?
Actually, no, I never DJ, but I can't live without my radio. You understand? I can have. I don't care about no TV, but one thing I can't stand is not to have my music. So I've always been musically inclined.
Okay.
Very nice.
I've always had the listening ear. I can, I know
R&B or
all-
hip hop?
everything, all genres of music.
What was your favorite
Classical.
voice?
What's your favorite?
What's my
favorite?
favorite?
R&B
I
or
don't
hip hop?
got no favorite. It's whatever, cause my mood fluctuates
Okay.
from day. Like you said, I could be a chameleon. So whatever's making me feel good at that moment, I'm
I
good.
feel
So if it's Dolly Parton, or
Oh, I love
Oh,
that.
or
hey.
if it's what's his name, Kenny Rogers.
Kenny
Some
Rogers.
days I be on my Western stuff like Beyonce, Cowboy Carter. You know what I'm saying? But I might want to say, know when to hold 'em. You want to know when to fold 'em. Know when to walk away, know when to
Bitch
run.
got
You
talent,
better
bitch.
shut
Bitch got
count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be no time to walk away, no time to run. The Gambler.
Nice.
So-
That's great.
So-
I think Aaron should have you on his show too. I think you guys would have a blast with the music.
I'm just
So
gonna
I'm
be like this in the
versatile.
back.
So I'm
Yeah.
versatile. So I'll have no favorite. I just like music in all aspects of what my ear takes.
And
in
that
the
is
morning, I
wonderful.
listen to Hertz.
There you go.
When I
And that
come
is-
into school, I listen to Hertz.
Oh wow, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. I just love that you're different. I love that you're
Agree.
original, and I love that you're being you, no matter where you are.
But can I tell you the story real quick about? You used to ask me why did I want to start DJing?
Yeah.
So a year after the COVID, when I reached Chicago, because the DJing started getting in my blood in Chicago. So I was living out west. Shout out 290, LeClaire Fulton. And y'all know where that's at.
Don't
All my
there.
West Siders, y'all know that the block behind Spencer School is juking. So they used to have back-to-back traffic. And a lot of people would be outside, just having fun and doing what they do. And so I had a balcony connected to my apartment. So I used to take my speaker and put it on the balcony, and I would be drinking my
You
tequila.
woke up every grandma in the
No,
in the
and
neighborhood.
I would just start playing songs off of YouTube, but I was blended it. Like the more I drank, the more the songs blended. and so what happened was when I used to walk to the store, like when I wasn't doing nothing, the guys would be like, Angel, hey girl that live up in the balcony, would you bring your speaker out today? You gonna play your music today? I was like, yeah, I was playing.
That's
So
nice.
then when I wouldn't bring it out, I would get special requests to bring the speaker out. So I was like, I think I got a little DJ up inside him.
That's
Sure
it.
did if you waking up the whole
That's
block.
when the embryo was born. So I got a little DJ
You
in
say
me.
you
Then,
waking up.
then the thought just grew and grew. Now it's finna manifest itself into making the money.
Nice. Well, thank you, Aisha, for
You're
being on
welcome.
this show, and we hope to see your show in a couple of weeks and a couple of months here. And thank you guys for watching. And then before we close out today, I'm gonna give you one to Jennifer. Jennifer, do you want to say something before we close out?
Stay in school
Don't go down the block. Bumping music.
and drink your tequila.
If you're not 21. All right, guys.
All right,
Thank you guys. We'll be back in a
thank
segment. Stay tuned. There's another guest. Bye.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Welcome back to the show On the Edge here on IMS. My name's Alex. We are going through a lot of talented and wonderful students inciting us on their podcasts, on their shows, and what they're going to be about. So to you guys that are tuning in right now, watching us, beautiful faces and all that, watching us, you are going to be watching their beautiful face probably every day, because you guys are going to go on live, you guys are going to make their own show, and you guys are going to be wonderful at doing it. Well, before we introduce our third student, let's go to my co-host over there.
Yes, thank you, Alex, for bringing me on. So thank you so much for Sonar. We gotta give a round of applause for our engineer helping us out over here, production. So yes, I'm Jennifer. I'm also one of the instructors here, the digital media production program. I teach there, so branding, marketing, and all that fun stuff I'm part of. But of course, I just love being here around the students and watching the students' ideas flourish and grow. So Let's pass it on to our guest, a student.
A student who's gonna teach us about being a teacher, a better teacher. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on? How you doing? Thanks for
doing
having
great.
me today.
Yes.
Can you introduce yourself, talk about your show, and tell us a little about yourself?
Yes.
My name is Tremaine. I'm from Rockford, Illinois, and my show is basically Chalk Talk, Truth and Margins, talking about the education system, the pitfalls, the failures, the good, the highs and lows, to get it out there. And, you know, I want to be that host that goes deep into the heart and the wound of the education system.
It's such an important topic, right?
It is very important.
And when you told us this idea, I thought, wow, that's different. An education show for teachers and people in the education system.
Oh yeah,
right.
The last time we talked about it, I actually sat there and wondered back home. I'm like, dang, what did I miss? What did I miss out when I was in school? You know. And so as I think about it more, and I actually took it more serious, and I started paying attention to what my sisters were doing, how their education was running. I started looking up the schools and some of their regularizations and some of the rules they have. And I saw some that were like, I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I mean? So that sparked me interested even more in the educational side. But for you, I wanted to ask you, where did that started? Was there a specific experience that you experienced through, or was it something that you just heard about and was like, I need to talk about this more. This needs to have more of a light on?
Well, I came from a family of educators, from a superintendent all the way down to a janitor. So I've been around the education system all my life because, you know, a lot of teachers would come over, they do their partying, you know, they get drinking their libations, and, you know, you hear and see things. You know, myself, you know, I kind of like grew up in the private sector of the education system. So I only went to a public school like 2 years out of everything, out of all my years. So I got to see the good and the bad, the highs and the lows. Not just from the educators aspect, but also from parents, students, policymakers, you know, everything that's a piece of the pie in the education world.
So your house was the safe space for a lot of educators, it sounds like. Is that what it was?
I wouldn't say a safe space. I'll just say it was just right. It was just a place that they all would meet and gossip and talk about parents, students.
What's the worst thing you heard about a kid?
The worst thing I heard a whole bunch of stuff about kids, from being bad, never amount to anything.
Oh wow.
Gonna be a bum, you know. I done heard it all, and I mean, I'd actually seen it as well too, from my mom's students. You know how they kind of, you know, I would say majority of them ended up in the penal system. But
Wow.
it's just they
And that is interesting too. Like I always told myself, I wonder how crazy it would be to be a student and literally like in the early, like think about it, you're being in someone's early life and stage, and then them telling them, hey, I don't think that person's gonna be amount to anything else, and it's such a young age as well. Like that. What's your thoughts on that? Like you know, hearing all that, and then now like you know you have your own daughters and sons that are going to school, and then you know. How do you like surround your sons or your kids around a good teacher? How do you know your kids around a good teacher?
Well, a lot of teachers, they some of them just do it because of it's a job that they get the summers off. You know,
Paycheck.
Yeah, right. Which I get. Yeah.
But there are some that is real passionate. But it's sad because you get this one teacher A that's passionate, that really cares about their students and treats them like they babies. But then when they advance on, the next teacher might basically crap on them and say, you know, not really put the time forth and energy toward it. Because, you know, they had this article, I think a decade ago, and it was talking about I forgot my pencil. And it was entailing about a student that had a bad life, you know, don't eat at home, you know, parents don't care. And they go to school without having anything, and the teacher chastises that student because, they forgot a pencil. I mean, it's not, it was just a figurative language about the pencil, you know, but that's how a lot of them operate and do. You know, and like I said, I try to go to the schools to give them a chance.
Shed some light.
Shed some light, yeah.
I think it's important to shed some light on what you're doing. I think, even as a parent and having kids in the school system, I could tell when like my kid's having a good time and a good experience with a teacher, right? Over the years, and when
Yeah.
that teacher might not be as good for them, and for me as a mom, I'm like the moment I have to check them, like I call the teacher up and be like, look, this is what I'm hearing. I need to hear from you what's going on, and if this is the case, I need you to correct this behavior. I think sometimes parents don't know that they can advocate for their kids,
As well.
and when
for
people
sure.
don't know that. But I think it's also a team
Correct.
right? Like it's not about you don't mistreat my child or whatever. It's I want my child to have a good educational experience. So how can we make this work? Because I want to work with the teachers. Well, if she acting up, let me know so I can correct it at home. But I think sometimes parents don't know that they can voice for their children and vice versa.
Well, my parents would tell all my teachers from preschool all the way up to high school, if I act a fool, you can put they can put their hands on me. They was because they know.
Because it's private school.
Yeah, because they knew they was educators, so they know. Plus, they know me as a child. They know
Yeah.
sometimes I might
Yeah.
get out of whack, and they gave them permission to do all this stuff.
Your parents sound like my parents.
Right,
Like the dunce cap. Remember in the back in the day they would put dunce caps, or hit you with rulers on the hands and stuff like that.
But most of the time, the parents need to be more actively engaged in
That
their
too.
kids'
That's
school
important.
and education, and then that would help. Because some parents think it's a daycare center. Just drop the kid off
Yeah.
for 7-8 hours. They go do what they want to do. The kids
Yeah.
do what they want to do. Because I even volunteered at a middle school, and the kid told the teacher, "Well, my mom and dad said I ain't got to listen to you." And it's that's kind of odd. That's like wow, but it's just a bump in the road for a lot.
Yeah, like you said, there's some good educators, and then there's some that are just, and some are great, and some are just there for the check, right? And I guess it's it shows, and it's a sad reality. But like a lot of teachers are underpaid, right? They work too many hours, right? Like they have a lot on their plate also. So I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why, the education system struggles.
Yeah, and that's why I always appreciated like good teachers, right? I always went back to my old high school, went back to my old elementary school, and I thanked all the teachers that I had, because I'll always be grateful for those teachers. Because
sure.
I had one teacher there was a similar student that said the same thing. You're not my dad, you're not my mom, and she would tell him, well, right now I am your mom, and you are gonna sit in your seat. And I always say that's the truth, because at the end of the day, I go to my mom, right? But at this one at my age, right? This is my second mom, basically teaching, not clothing me or anything like that, but she's teaching me, doing all this, and that's how I treated it as like that, right? But what is your take on people saying like, does it even matter if it's people who are in private schools or in public schools? Is there like a really, really big difference here? Because I remember back in the day when I was a student, we used to laugh at people that were in private school. We'd be like, "You in private school, you little wussy!" Like we used to think all the that went to private schools, and then all the tough guys went to public schools.
I love how you said back in the day.
when I was a little bitty
Many
boy.
years ago.
When I was a little bitty boy.
And
Back in the day.
it's really no difference, because
Mm-hmm.
the private school students, kids, some of them act privileged, some of them act like public schools, so it's really no difference. I mean, they try to say because, being in some that's in marginalized communities, and then you have that upscale school, it's still the same. It's
still
just
the same.
that the upscale school has more opportunities, more resources. They pay, they got better. I'm not gonna say better teachers, but they have the resource to attract the good teachers and to keep them, under like public school where, teachers come and go like a revolving door.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jermaine, I'm gonna do something different with you. When you look in that camera and then just tell people about your show and, something that they could stay tuned into so they could catch on to it before they actually see your show.
Well, my show will be Chalk Talk, Truth and Margin, like I said earlier, and we're going to go deep into the wound of the education system. We'll have guests on, superintendents, policymakers, parents, and also students who actually didn't have a chance to voice their opinions and how they feel about their education upbringing.
That's awesome.
So we'll have it all. We're just trying to make it better and have a lot of teachers on as well on why they left, why they don't have the resources, why they only give $20 a year to get supplies and et cetera.
Well, thank you so much, Jermaine, for sitting on this seat and telling us all about your show. And thank you so much for coming up with this idea and concept to the whole world to really grab onto it and learn more about the educational system. And we thank you very much for that and I appreciate that for your time. And this has been The Edge on Air. We have another student coming up, so don't you dare leave. Don't you dare leave out of your seat. We're going to have one more student. My name's Alex.
And I'm Jennifer.
And
Stay
we'll
tuned.
see you soon.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Jennifer, Illinois media instructor here. Super excited for our final guest. But before we bring her on, definitely just wanted to make sure I introduce myself. If you're just joining in, Illinois media instructor, digital media professional? Production program, right? That's who I am. And I'll pass it over to my co-host.
Homie.
My homie, the other Mexican in this school.
My name's Alex. We're having fun here. We've been having fun here for like about a while now. It's been an hour. I'm tired. I have no food and my voice is thirsty. And I'm over here just having fun. And what I do here is I assist all the students. I also have my own show. I'll never talk about that show ever again. And because we're talking about our wonderful student, Nicole Duncan, and her show. Hey, you having trouble with the mic there?
No, it's a little mic check.
All right, hold on.
Leave it alone.
Don't touch it.
Right there. Leave it right there.
You want
Go
me
ahead.
close?
You can talk. Go
All
ahead.
right.
All right, Nicole, let us know. Who are you, Miss Nicole?
I am Sunnyside. I love this name that I was given because I was such in a dark space for a long time. Came to IMS and got the name Sunnyside.
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 I love that. Congratulations, you're also an alumni.
Being an alumni.
Still got a long way to go.
Still a long way to go.
You there.
Yep.
You're there.
We're there.
You're there. You know, when you're running, I don't know if you guys ever ran a marathon or 5K, but
No,
you know,
I'm
the
fat.
last, like when you see the finish line, it's the hardest part.
Oh,
when you're
yeah.
about to cross, everything hurts, the body hurts. So you right there. You right there.
In grasp.
You almost,
Yes.
you got this.
Yeah, and I'll never run a marathon because I'm too. I love my tacos.
A 5K.
I love my tacos.
I love tacos too.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
That's all I'll ever do.
I think we're hungry. So Nicole, tell us a little bit about your show. What's your show gonna be about?
One of my shows is going to be the perspectives of beauty.
Okay.
Perspectives of beauty.
Yeah, perspectives of beauty. It's like what you see on the outside is not always how you feel on the inside, or just how people perceive your beauty.
Okay, okay. And then what did that come about? Was there a story behind that? Was there any
Yeah.
purpose? Can you tell us about
It's a
that?
story from me. I didn't think I was pretty till I was 28 years old.
Wow.
28 years old. So my self-esteem was low. What people saw was not what I saw.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so now you're going to be talking to a lot of people that might feel that way.
Yes. A lot
so-
of people just don't admit it.
Yeah. And what do you feel? Is there any pressure at all to being that person now that's gonna be like, you are pretty, you are beautiful? Is there any pressure at all, or how do you feel that now you're the person that's supposed to uplift young men and women that don't feel that way?
I think part of that is trying to understand what is beauty to you. What, like they say, eye is in the beauty of the beholder, right?
Right.
So if I don't feel a certain way, I might not push that out. You understand what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
I understand what you're saying.
It's more like if I tell you, if I come out, like when I come out, I usually get many compliments. It's just, oh, you so pretty, oh, you this. But if I don't feel that, what do you think that does to me?
Makes you
Go
feel down?
harder on yourself, on just the uncomfortable. I didn't know how to embrace compliments for a long time. I think being a nice looking woman as a child, I was always told, oh, she's so pretty, oh, she's so this, oh, she's so that, but they just really didn't know. I didn't feel that
way.
at all.
Right.
So it kind of got to be irritating, or it was hard to embrace compliments.
Wow.
So what type of guests? So it's gonna be like a about beauty standards, about self-esteem. It sounds
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So what type of guests are you gonna be bringing on the show, and what type of conversations will you be having?
Okay, most of my guests are some women that I know that I met in a sister circle that helped me get my self-esteem, helped me to teach me to love myself better, that I didn't need anybody else to validate that. As long as I felt it, everything is okay. You're going to track what's needed for you.
Very nice.
love
I
that.
love that.
I love that.
I think it's needed. I think
Yeah.
there's body dysmorphia,
Oh,
right?
God.
Right? Like, you
yeah.
know, there's a lot of like low self-esteem.
Yes,
So I
very
think
much.
having these conversations and being open about how, especially for women, it's critical.
I think I shock people because I tried to have a little girl ministry a long time ago, and it actually started from some young ladies. I was in the bathroom and just heard them talking, and I couldn't see them because they're in the stalls.
Yeah, yeah.
But when they came out, it was like they were so beautiful, but they wasn't feeling it, and I could identify with it. So it instantly made me start talking to these little girls. We all cried because they finally had somebody that kind of understood what they felt.
Right. And I hope when you have your show, that's what other people are gonna around the world's gonna
Oh
feel
yeah,
like.
most of my sister circles, some of them have felt like me. That's why it was easy to talk to them about it. Like, you don't think you pretty? And it was just like, no.
I
But
think
what
I'm
do
pretty.
you feel? So it's mostly for me, it was, I could fake it, right? I go out and I'm a star, right? Oh, I look good. But inside at night, how do I feel?
Right.
That's good. And I think sometimes beauty is just, you know, there's certain things called beauty privilege, right?
Oh yeah, it works. But
And
it's a curse.
it's and then there's
curse, too.
yeah, and eventually beauty fades away, right?
yeah.
So there's all these things about beauty and how it stays
Oh,
and how
yeah.
it lasts. So I think these conversations are gonna be really important for people to have acknowledged, because sometimes beauty, someone could be, let's say, like not very attractive, but then you meet their personality and you talk to
beautiful,
them, and then
yeah.
you're like, oh my God, you're like 20 times more attractive now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So beauty
yeah.
can,
That's
it's
why my
so,
fiance got with me.
it's biased,
Yes,
right?
Yes, very much so. Just like what you were saying about pretty privilege. Sometimes that's a curse, because you can walk some places in the room and you'll have every mean look looking at you just because your
Yeah.
shine, or just because you, or when I tell people the light skin, dark skin thing, I can't stand
Colorism,
it. I
yeah.
can't stand it. I'm like, just call me polka dot, right? What color? I'm polka dot. Look at me as a polka dot. I'm not light, I'm not dark, because then that's what separates us, especially with women. That makes us have so many cat girl fights. And it's like, for me, it's more of a, how can we brace beauty together to both shine? That's what Sunnyside want to do. That's all.
Sunny side.
Yeah, Sunny.
Bring it on the shine. Bring it on the
I like
shine.
to shine.
So now every time I order eggs, I'm gonna order sunny side up eggs,
Sunny
and
side
I'm gonna
eggs.
think about Nicole.
I'm gonna go to Denny's. I'm gonna see the sun. I'm like,
Or the
oh,
bright
no.
sun. The bright sun. When you see the sun, think of me.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
awesome.
I could see that. I
Yeah.
like that. I love sunny side. It's so
You love
good.
Sunnyside. You said,
So yeah,
hold
we
on.
got name Sunnyside. Right,
Sunnyside,
walked in.
double
That's
D.
why I
Shout out double D.
Yes.
Well, you said one show though. That was one of the
One
shows.
show.
Oh yeah, she
Oh,
said two.
wow.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
So how many shows do you have in mind?
I have 3, but I'm, kind of get overboard. But
Right.
my other show is about police brutality.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Wow. And then, so a lot of these shows are somewhat that I always tell a lot of people is that they have like a real
person.
life
Yeah,
experience.
my son
behind
was
them.
killed by the police in 2017. So yes, it is very personal to me. Very,
Mm-hmm.
very personal.
Right. And then for that one, I'm pretty sure you already had like a list of guests or maybe.
Oh yeah, I have Fred Hampton. I have a lot of people lined up. Black Panthers, some aldermen, even a judge that I asked could they be a guest, just
That's
to kind of
interesting.
open up some things about just the young black
interesting.
boys and girls, because it's girls that get police brutality too.
What's one person? Because I ask myself this question: what is one person that you think will be interesting to interview? Like very interesting to interview. 'Cause
One
what
person I think would be, oh God.
and when I mean by interesting, I mean
Do
like,
they have to be
But
okay?
when I mean by interesting, like let's say like my I don't know my
Do they-
son's killer. I interview him. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean? Like something
see,
like that.
that's what I was about to say, because that's part of why I reached out to a judge, because I really want to interview the cop that was there
Wow.
with my son, and it's in the making.
Oh wow. So what is this show? So because it's multiple shows, what's the beauty show going to be called, or what do you think it might be called?
I want that to be called Perspectives of Beauty, because it's just
Perspective of Beauties.
everybody's perspective of what
Yes.
I like that.
beauty is.
Perspective of beauty. And then what's gonna be the police brutality show? Have you thought of
I
that
have
name?
too many names for that, because when I Google some of them, they're already there. So I want to come up with something a little more unique. Yeah.
Why not your son's name?
Hey, see you in my head, Alex. Cause I swear, that's all I've been like. But I don't know if that's like
What's
really
your
being
son's
vain.
name? What's your
His
son's
name is Corshawn Lewis.
Why is it vain?
What's the thing? I think doing it and then putting your son really would cap that off as like, hey, this is a show. This is what it is. But the reason why
The
I'm not in
focus
this-
is
Yeah.
but see, that's what I was trying to not to do, like to put all the focus on my son, because I have a few more people that's close to me who experienced the same thing after me.
So let me share this with you, because I think this would help you, and I know we got to wrap up in 2 minutes. There is an organization called Simply Destiny, and they're a suicide awareness and mental health organization for the youth. Simply Destiny. Destiny is the name of the daughter that died from suicide, who is the founder's daughter. So even though it's Simply Destiny, and what they do is about mental health awareness and suicide prevention, they still are honoring her name in the name of the organization. So that's an idea for you to think about and ponder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? and might be something, but I definitely think that what you're doing is great. I really commend you for putting together a show like this that's bringing awareness with beauty and with police brutality.
Yeah.
And keep moving, keep pushing.
I am.
And me personally, Nicole, you know how you know how I feel
I'm
about you.
gonna work your nerves.
Very proud
I'm
of
gonna
you.
work your nerves even
Yeah,
more.
I know.
And Jen's just
Very-
getting a new version. She's getting a new
But I am
version.
very proud of you, and just how I'm very proud of all the students that came on the same scene.
I love y'all so
I
much.
love everyone, each and every one of y'all.
If it wasn't for your mess, I'd
I'm
probably be in a straight jacket.
Well,
I am super excited.
this is a great way to wrap up the show.
A great way to wrap up the show.
now. We are not. It goes from straight jacket to IMS. So
Tequila. Tequila. All right, guys, we are signing off now. It has been your boy Alex.
And Jennifer.
We are out, and thank you all so much.
Bye bye.